Welcome to WagerTalk TV. Kelly Stewart here with Brian Leonard and Teddy Covers. Guys, this one's going to be an exciting one in the NFC North. Detroit Lions +6 at the Packers. Total 49.5. I'm going to throw it out there. I must hate myself. I already bet the Lions +6. I know it was 6.5. VR mentioned they got a steam move on it. I said, let me grab this number. I may be hating life come halftime. The Packers looked awfully good against that crappy Vikings secondary. And what did the Detroit Lions do? They blew a nice lead to the Chicago Bears in the fourth quarter, made Mitch Trubisky look like an MVP. Brian Leonard, it's been a while. I hope you're doing well, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say about this game.
I am doing well. Congrats on all your success. I'm with you on Detroit here. This line is a direct result of last week. It's an overreaction to last week. And first off, before we start talking about the games, last year, home field advantage was worth about 1.7 points. I'm counting home field as 1 point this year. So basically, when I take a look at comparing teams, I'm looking at 1 point for home value. So let's say, go back to last week, Detroit against Chicago. Detroit was laying 3. So basically, on a neutral, Detroit is 2 points better than Chicago. Green Bay is laying 6 here, which means they're 5 points better than Detroit. That means Green Bay is 7 points better than the Chicago Bears. I don't see it. I think all these teams in this division are all roughly the same. We talked about, you touched on the Lions blowing that 17-point fourth quarter lead. They had 3 drives last week, stalled within the 15-yard line, only got 6 points out of that. This Detroit offense is pretty lethal. I like the offense. You know, the Packers dominated the Vikings. There was a terrific spot for a teaser play last week on the Packers. Quick passing game last week, and they had 158 rushing yards. But, you know, the Packers are a major regression candidate this season. Last year, they were 8-1 in single-score games. I love the Packers season total over last year. That was my top number. But this year, everybody's got so much ammunition to bet against the Packers here. And yet the Packers are opening up, and they're up to a 6-point favorite here over the Lions. I'm not so sure the Lions aren't the better team here. I like the Lions.
All right, Teddy, you had a tweet as someone who spent a better part of his life, well, a little part of his life in Ann Arbor. You know the Lions fans' pain just a tiny bit. Your tweet made me laugh. Please elaborate on what you think is going to happen this Sunday between these NFC North rivals.
And, the Lions' way to lose last week, if you're from Michigan, you know it. You've seen it 100 times before. They can snatch defeat from the jaws of victory in unique fashion. Heck, they did it a couple times last year against the Packers. Remember, both games last year decided by a field goal or less. Green Bay emerging with the straight-up win, not the point spread win in both those contests, obviously, with the Lions as underdogs. They had backup QBs in both of those ball games. But the tweet last week was, look, I spent a decade in Michigan. I've seen this many, many times before, and it's so much better to be a bettor than a fan. As a fan, you get really frustrated when Detroit loses games like that. As a bettor, you don't care unless you had Detroit on the money line. When it comes to this week's matchup, I love Brian Leonard, legitimate love, man love for Brian. But I'm going to disagree because the look-ahead line last week was, before Week 1 games were played, was Packers -6. And what are we seeing now? In that same range, Packers -6. So I'm not saying it's an overreaction to Week 1. However, what the markets have not reacted to very much on the side, but they have on the total, is the fact that the Lions secondary is in shambles. Detroit going without their number 1 draft choice, Jeff Okudah, who won't be around this week either. They also lost their top 2 cornerbacks during the game against Chicago. That's why Trubisky looked good in the fourth quarter. It wasn't anything Mitch Trubisky did. Detroit was playing without their top 3 cornerbacks. Don't know if any of the 3 are going to be healthy this week. Meanwhile, Green Bay, they got torched by Minnesota in that game. Second half, Packers didn't get a stop. So we've seen this total already get bet up. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets up more. This one feels like a shootout at Lambeau. I'll look for the Packers and Lions to go over the total.
All right, Brian, I'll let you have the last word. Your thoughts on this total? Do you agree with Teddy here on the over?
Makes a lot of sense. I haven't really looked into it, but he's piqued my interest.
All right. Thank you to both Brian and Teddy. You can find Teddy at Teddy_covers on Twitter and Brian at BLeonardSports. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you check out all of our other WagerTalk YouTube videos.